Welcome to the deep dive. So, if you've been paying any attention at all over, the last 3 years, you know AI isn't some fringe tech anymore.
Oh, not at all. It's here. It's completely commonplace.
And for most companies, it's mission critical. Our analysis totally backs this up. We're seeing nearly 9 out of 10 organizations, that's 88%, are regularly using AI tools.
And that's up from 78% just last year. That is just massive rapid adoption. The tools are basically standard issue at this point.
And this is global, right?
Yes, this is based on a survey of nearly 2,000 organizations we conducted in the summer of 2025. It's a really broad snapshot.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the central tension we really want to unpack for you today. If pretty much everyone is using AI, why aren't we seeing these huge enterprise-level financial returns everywhere?
Where's the money?
Exactly. Where is that transformative system-wide efficiency that was promised?
That is the paradox, and that's our mission today. We're going to dive deep into this really uneven progress using the latest McKinsey Global Survey data on AI.
And the data's pretty clear, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
It shows most organizations are, well, they're stuck. They're kind of stalled between running these little pilot projects and actually achieving real scaled financial value.
So we need to figure out why. Why are most of them still just experimenting? And more importantly, what are the highest performing companies doing differently?
That's the key. What are they doing to bridge that gap
Yeah.
and actually see it hit the bottom line?
Okay, let's just jump right into that then. The scaling paradox. We see this super broad adoption, but really narrow scaling. And the number of organizations just sort of playing around with this stuff is shocking.
It is the headline finding, really. Almost two-thirds of the respondents, I mean, that's a huge majority, say their organizations have not even begun to scale AI across the enterprise.
Wow, 2/3.
Yeah, they're firmly planted in the experimenting or piloting phase. So, they got the software, they ran some tests, but they haven't made it a fundamental part of the business yet.
And it seems like company size is a huge factor here.
Oh, massive. We see that nearly half of the big companies, we're talking over $5 billion in revenue, they've reached the scaling phase. They just have the resources, the structure.
And for smaller companies.
Well, you contrast that with companies generating, say, less than $100 million in revenue, and only 29% of them are scaling.
So it's a capital and a structural challenge.
It is. It's not just about talent. The bigger you are, the more room you have to fail forward to integrate this stuff properly.
So while everyone's still figuring out basic Gen AI, it feels like the industry is already moving on to the next big thing, which in 2025 is AI agents.
That is definitely where all the curiosity is right now. And for you, the listener, an AI agent is, it's basically a smart system that can plan and execute a whole workflow with multiple steps.
So not just writing an email for you.
Exactly. It's more like you ask it to handle the first 3 steps of a customer support ticket. Do the research, find the right document, and draft the initial reply. It takes action.
And the data shows organizations are very interested. 62% are at least experimenting with agents. That's enormous.
The intent is definitely there.
But wait, if the intent is that high, what's the bottleneck? Why are only 23% reporting that they're actually scaling an agentic system?
That's the core difficulty of scaling. Agents require really deep integration into your existing business processes, your data security.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
Right. It's not a simple plug-and-play tool.
Not at all. And even those 23% who are scaling, they're typically only doing it in 1 or 2 specific business functions. It's not like it's a widespread replacement of tasks yet.
So where are they seeing the biggest wins with these agents so far? Where is it working?
The early use cases are very specialized. We're seeing agents mostly in IT, running things like service desk management, solving common employee tickets automatically.
Okay, that makes sense.
And in knowledge management. So for deep research, synthesizing huge internal documents, that kind of thing. Basically high-volume, repeatable information tasks.
And what about industries?
The early leaders are who you'd probably predict. Technology, media, and telecom, and also the healthcare sectors.
That makes perfect sense. You go after the most process-heavy problems first. But okay, let's shift gears a bit. From adoption to actual results, because this is where that scaling paradox really starts to hurt.
Measuring the impact.
If 88% are using AI, you'd expect to see financial gains pretty much across the board.
You would, but we just don't. And this financial reality check is probably the single most sobering finding in the whole report.
Okay, let's break it down.
When we look at enterprise-wide financial results, Specifically, the bottom line, what analysts call EBIT, or earnings before interest and taxes.
The actual profit.
The actual profit. Only 39% of respondents attribute any level of EBIT impact to AI, and for most of them, that impact is less than 5%.
So let me get this straight. A massive investment in effort, tools, and people. But for 2/3 of companies, it hasn't translated to cash flow yet.
Precisely. Now, the picture isn't entirely bleak. While the profit statement is lagging, there are some really positive leading indicators.
Like what?
Like the value is being captured somewhere, it's just not showing up as scale profit yet. 64% of respondents say AI is enabling innovation, and almost half are reporting better customer satisfaction.
So they're setting the table for future gains.
That's a good way to put it. They're building a foundation.
So let's get specific. Where is that immediate value actually showing up? For cost benefits, the classic efficiency play. Where is AI helping companies save money right now?
Cost benefits are really concentrated in areas with high-volume structured tasks. So think software engineering, where AI can write and debug code faster,
Right.
or manufacturing by optimizing supply chains, and internal IT using those agents we were just talking about. It's all about cutting down manual processing time.
And what about the other side of the coin, the revenue side? Where are they using AI to make more money?
Revenue increases are showing up where AI assists human interaction. So marketing and sales are huge, using AI to personalize campaigns, predict what customers need.
So it's augmenting people, not replacing them.
Exactly. We also see it in strategy and corporate finance, helping leaders analyze market risks faster, and in product development, where AI can simulate designs and speed up time to market.
This all brings us to I think, the most crucial part of this deep dive, the winning strategy. If 88% are using it, but only 39% see any financial gain, we have to dissect the blueprint of these AI high performers.
These are the winners. This tiny 6% of respondents who aren't just dabbling, they are seeing real money.
How much money?
5% or more of their bottom line, their EBIT, is directly traceable to AI. And they say they're seeing significant value overall.
So what's their secret? It can't just be better tools.
It's not. It's about transformation. And the first step is a complete ambition shift. 80% of all companies say efficiency is their main goal.
But not the high performers.
Right. They are dramatically more likely to set growth and innovation as their driving objectives as well. It's a completely different mindset.
They're not just trying to do the same things a little bit faster.
No, they're trying to fundamentally change what they do. Half of these high performers explicitly told us they intend to use AI to transform their businesses entirely.
Okay, so that kind of transformative change must require more than just ambition. What are the key things they're doing differently on the ground?
The first one is probably the most important: fundamental workflow redesign. This is cited as one of the strongest contributors to getting real business impact.
And high performers are how much more likely to do this?
Nearly 3 times as likely. Think of it this way. The average company just automates a broken, old approval process. A high performer looks at that broken process and says, AI lets us eliminate 3 steps and rebuild the whole thing from the ground up.
You're not just paving over cow paths.
You're building a high-speed highway.
Mhm.
You can't just put a jet engine on a horse-drawn carriage and expect it to fly. You need a new structure.
And that kind of change, that has to come from the top. The second differentiator has to be leadership, right?
Absolutely. High performers are 3 times more likely to strongly agree that their senior leaders demonstrate real ownership of AI initiatives.
Including using it themselves.
Yes, including role modeling AI use. It's not just some IT project they delegate. When the CEO is using the new tools, it sends a powerful message that this is how work gets done now.
Okay, and a key part of making those new workflows actually work is managing the outputs. They aren't just letting the AI run wild.
No, there's a critical focus on the human in the loop. That's another top factor that distinguishes them. They have defined processes to determine when a model's output needs human validation.
To ensure accuracy.
Accuracy, ethical compliance, you name it. They combine AI speed with human judgment. It's a hybrid intelligence system. Trust the machine, but verify the critical steps.
And finally, I'm guessing you can't do any of this on the cheap.
No, you can't. Ambition requires investment. More than 1/3 of these high performers commit over 20% of their entire digital budget just to AI.
They're putting serious money behind the ambition.
Exactly. And that's what lets them move beyond pilots and actually scale this stuff across the whole business.
Okay, let's move on to the impact on people. The workforce. We hear all the headlines about mass job loss, but the data on what companies actually expect is really split.
The expectations are all over the place. You have 32% predicting an overall workforce reduction,
A significant one.
3% or more. But then you have 43% who expect no change at all, and 13% who actually expect to increase their workforce.
And the nuance here is really interesting. The larger companies and those high performers, they're the ones predicting the most volatility.
That's right. They're more likely to expect a meaningful change, whether that's a reduction or an increase.
Which tells you they're actively managing the transition. They're reorganizing roles, reskilling, not just waiting to see what happens.
And at the exact same time, the demand for specialized talent is just skyrocketing. Most organizations hired for AI-related roles in the past year.
And the top roles are.
Software engineers and data engineers. No surprise there.
Yeah.
AI is changing the nature of work, even if the total headcount doesn't move dramatically everywhere.
Finally, let's talk about risk. As adoption gets broader, so does the danger. The good news is that mitigation efforts seem to have increased dramatically.
They have. Organizations reported managing an average of, 2 AI-related risks back in 2022. Today, that number is 4. So awareness is up.
But the top negative consequence is still the same old problem, isn't it?
It is. AI inaccuracy. It's still the ghost in the machine. 51% of organizations using AI saw at least one negative consequence, and for nearly a third of all respondents, it came from simple inaccuracy.
But here's the finding that seems counterintuitive. The high performers, they are more likely to report negative consequences. Things like IP infringement and regulatory issues. Why?
It's not that they're worse at managing risk. It's that they're scaling faster and pushing the boundaries in more complex, high-value situations. They've deployed twice as many use cases as their peers.
So when you push harder, you find more edge cases.
Exactly. Especially around tricky things like intellectual property and compliance. And crucially, they also mitigate a larger number of risks than their peers. It proves that ambition correlates directly with increased awareness and monitoring.
So after all this, what does it all mean for you? The big takeaway seems crystal clear. AI use is no longer optional. That 88% adoption confirms it.
It's table stakes now. But achieving that enterprise-wide financial scale is still really rare. It's the difference between doing a pilot and actually executing a strategy.
And the pathway to success is transformation.
It is. It's not just about incremental efficiency. It's driven by senior leadership commitment and, most importantly, that fundamental, intentional redesign of how work gets done.
The technology is capable of these massive returns, but only if the organization is bold enough to rethink itself.
That's the whole game right there.
So if success is tied to transforming the business and redesigning workflows, you really have to ask yourself, is your organization just focused on installing AI tools into existing, sometimes broken processes?
Or is your leadership using AI as the catalyst to fundamentally reimagine how your business functions?
Prioritizing bold growth and innovation rather than just chasing the smallest cost reductions. The full promise of AI is still ahead of us, but it's only for those with the ambition to build the future, not just automate the past.